Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Nancy and this is Un Petit Budget or a small budget. On this channel, I make cash stuffing videos where I budget in cash. Today, I have a tutorial for you. I want to show you how I make 3 different types of envelopes. So if you're interested in this type of content, stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So here I am as promised with a tutorial. So I have 3 different envelopes to show you, so it'll be in 3 different sections. So this one is a wallet envelope that I used to have in my wallet. They're A7 size. I have a short that shows you how to make it, like speed it up. So today I'm going to show you how I do it in detail. The second one is a double-sided matte cash envelope that I use as inserts in my A5 envelope for subcategories, and I really like the way they turned out, so I'll show you how to make this. And lastly, I'll show you how to make these, which are a little more colorful, and they're part of my new setup where I have monthly cash envelopes, and I just use it for like savings challenges and stuff. So let's get started. All right, so what you'll need: I have a laminator. I have a Scotch laminator. I think it was $30 on Amazon. I'll link it in the video description. I'm just going to turn it on since we're going to be making envelopes. And I am going to turn it on to the 5mm setting. And I'll just put it to the side for now. It just turned red here. When it'll be ready, this will turn blue. So you'll need a laminator, a paper cutter, or a guillotine, I'm not sure how you call this, a corner rounder. This one is my favorite one. If you're just getting started and you are not making envelopes to sell or anything, you can use one of these. They're not my favorite ones though. Sometimes they already arrive and they're already like a little blunt, so not my fave. I bought a couple, but if you want one that's gonna last long, I would really recommend this one. So Kadomaru Pro, I think it's Japanese, which I really trust and I love. It's my second one, and I use it for rounding all my savings challenges and things like that, and I really love this one. You have different settings also, small, medium, large, so really this recommend plus. You'll also need a ruler. You might also need a hole puncher for the last cash envelopes, but in general, this is what you'll need for the envelopes that I'm going to be showing you how to make today. All right, so let's get started with the wallet envelopes. So I remember taking the measurements from an A7 envelope to make these specifically, but I don't have the exact measurement nor an A7 envelope close to me, so I'm just going to measure what I've done before. So I will measure in centimeters, and then I'll add in the video, I'll just add what it represents in inches if it's easier for you. So 12.5 centimeters by 7.5 centimeters about, and then I always leave a little bit of room because we're gonna cut off some paper. So let's say 7.5 centimeters in this case. So my wallet envelopes look like this, and that's how money looks like in it. So additionally to everything that I've mentioned before, the materials you'll need for these specific envelopes, you'll need some vellum paper. So I got this from my Michaels, and it's the Recollections vellum paper, and it's clear. I'll link it in the video description if you want. So you'll need 2 sheets of vellum paper. And what you're hearing is my laminator getting warmed up. So 2 sheets of vellum. And I'll prep a laminating sheet on the side. This one is a glossy finish. The brand I use is Scotch, and this specific sheet is 5 millimeters. So this is 3 millimeters. I'll use it for something else that I'll show you later on. But for this specific envelope, it's 5 millimeters. Okay, so just repeating, we need 2 vellum sheets and just 1 5 millimeters clear pouch. Let's start by cutting off the paper. So the length is 12.5 centimeters. And you just slide the rest of the paper here and you go 12.5 centimeters. The rest is scrap paper. We can put it to the side. And the height now is 7.5 centimeters. The rest we put to the side, although this looks pretty big, but we'll put it to the side for the purpose of the tutorial. I have a tendency to try to keep every single scrap of paper, and you know, because I am always thinking it might be useful, but sometimes it isn't, and I end up with a bunch of scrap of papers. But if you're a crafter, you know exactly what I mean. So 7.5, here you go. And that's it for the vellum paper. So we're just gonna put the guillotine to the side. Let me get my corner rounder. I'm trying to remember, but I think I used the medium corner rounder. So here I have, you know, 2 layers of vellum paper, and I'm just gonna put it in the corner rounder. You see? Already looks really good. Now I'm going to open up my laminating pouch, and I'm going to insert my little vellum paper. Try to align them as best as you can, so you can tap it gently so the paper is aligned. And try to leave space in between all of them so you can have space to cut it off later on. To try and remove the air bubbles, what I do is I take my ruler and I just kind of press it down. Let's bring our laminator into the shots. So you want to put the laminating sheet with the little edge. I'm going to see if I can show you. This side is going to go in first. So my laminator is ready. So I'm just going to insert my sheet in there. And you're going to see it come out. I like to take my laminating sheet once it's hot. I'm just going to move this out of the frame and just turn it upside down to let it cool, so it doesn't curl up. Okay, so you should get something like this. You have 4 rectangles, and now we're just going to cut our envelopes. Let's take our paper cutter back. Now here it doesn't need to be precise. I'm just gonna cut the envelopes because they're not perfectly aligned, and then I'm going to trim them. So I'm just gonna cut like this, and then we'll do the detailed work afterwards. So So something rough like this. It doesn't need to be perfect. Now what I like to do is I put the edge of my paper and I line it with the edge of my paper cut it here, the inner edge. Okay, so it looks something like this. So I don't know if you can see, I'll get closer because I'm not sure I can zoom in here. I'll try. I'm just gonna get closer to you, okay, so you can see what I'm doing. So do you see this here? I'm aligning the paper that's inside with the edge, the inner edge of my tool, and the metal line is where my paper cut is gonna cut. So just gonna align like this. Just try not to cut. I don't know if you're able to see it, but there's kind of an air pocket. You don't want to cut that, so you just stay around here, and we're gonna cut that here. Doesn't need to be perfect. Again, it's just to show you because this is a tutorial, so I'm just gonna try to show you with as much details as I can, just the way I do it. The ugliest edge I'm gonna leave. I'll show you what I'm gonna do, okay? So let me just fast forward this part of the video, okay? What not to do. Make sure you're pressing down on your tool so it doesn't slide away from you. Okay, so now what you do is that you want to open up this side. You're gonna go into the paper so it creates the pockets. So I'm putting my tool onto the paper like this. Do you see the metal part? It's going a bit over. And your 2 sheets of vellum is what creates the pocket. So you already have a nice little cash envelope. For the finishing touches, you can just round the corners. I selected medium, so I'm going to still continue with medium. So you should get something like this. Let me finish the other envelopes. Okay, so it should give you about 4 envelopes like this. I think it's very cost efficient for what you're going to use it for. You can personalize these with just stickers or vinyl on top of them. You can also print on the vellum sheet before you laminate it. But that could be a more in-depth tutorial if you want. The vinyl I was talking about before, so for these, what I did is that I use different elements. I use Canva to make the pattern at the back, and I printed on you see one side is printed and the other side is blank, so you can print one sheet, and then I personalized my envelope with some vinyl, and then I laminated everything. So it's extra steps. If you want a more in-depth video of how I do this, I could eventually do it, but today I just wanted to show you the basics and the size of my envelopes for the wallet ones. Okay, so that's all for the wallet envelopes. Let's move on to my double-sided matte envelopes. So these are 16.5 by about 8. That's for the inner insert, and the outside is 17.5 by 9. So obviously you'll need some laminating pouches. I'm using a 5mm laminating pouch for the outside, and I'm using the Llama brand, which I'll link in the description. So I have a 5mm one. And you'll also need a 3mm one. So same brand, but it's matte, Llama, 3mm. So the 3mm pocket will be used for the insert, for the inside of the envelope. So let's start by cutting this one. So let's cut the inside of the envelope. I'm putting the close part, I'm gonna cut it off. So I'm gonna put it this way, and it's 16.5 centimeters. Again, I'll put the centimeters, I'll measure in centimeters and I'll add the inches on the screen so you have an idea of what I'm doing. So the length is 16.5 and the height is about 8.3. And why 0.3, I'll show you. You could do it 0.5 if you want to just cut off a bit more. But oh, I remember now as I'm doing this. It's just because the 0.3 brings me to this line specifically. So it's easier for me to make more and not to think about it too hard. Like just go to this line and then you cut off. So I have this and then again 8.3. This is scrap paper. I still have a sheet remaining, so let's see what we could do with this. So let's go for 16.5. By 8.3. And we should have 2 rectangles for the inside of the pocket. Now let's take the 5mm pouch and let's cut the outside of the envelope. So I said 17.5 and I'm doing this with you guys. We'll see what it gives because I don't remember the exact measurements, so I'm just trying to experiment. So again, close side on this side. And the height, I said 9 centimeters. Let's see if we have enough with this one. Kind of looking short. I just want to make sure I didn't make a mistake. Okay, so 1 pouch. Let me see if I have enough to make another one. This is 5mm and it's the outside of the envelope. So 17.5. And the height is 9. When using this method, I'm trying to maximize the amount of rectangles I can cut. So these are my 5mm. Just gonna put them to the side. Okay, so this is a double-sided cash envelope, so I'm just gonna show you with money inside what it looks like. So you have 2 sides and then you have a little divider here. I don't know if you're able to see it, like this. So this is just a personal preference. You could just have like A6 envelopes. This is, like I've mentioned before, what I use in my A5 envelopes. I'll just bring it out so you can see what it looks like. So for example, for my home maintenance, I have taxes, renovation, seasonal, and lawn care. It's just a personal preference, and I think it looks nice because before I used to put everything in just one envelope and it didn't really tell me what it was going in for. Some people like less categories. I like to have some types, like some subtypes, and that I did not discover I liked until I started cash stuffing and what works best for you. So you do what works best for you. I'm just showing you what it looks like. All right, so to make this double-sided cash envelope, you'll need one 5mm rectangle we just cut, and you'll need two 3mm rectangles. This one we're not going to touch because it's going to be the division inside of the envelope, so it stays as is. Now, this part is a little trickier because on the matte laminating envelopes, both sides look matte, but this is smoother, and here you could feel a slight difference where the glue is, what their adhesive is. So what you're gonna do, and I know this might be a little confusing, you're gonna flip it over, place it here. This one you're gonna flip it over and place it here. You're gonna align them as best as you can. So adhesive side, and then the middle one is like sandwiched in between. Okay, so I'm gonna put this aside now. You're gonna open, so you're gonna try to align, this is your 5mm pouch. You're gonna try to open it from one side only. So you're gonna try to open from one side only. And I'm gonna try to align the edge as best as I can. Like this at the top and on the edges here. You can see here. What I like to do sometimes is just flip it like this and just tap it gently. Okay, so you just want to make sure all your sheets are aligned because you don't want the adhesive to be stuck inside of your laminator because you don't want to ruin it. So try as best as you can to have everything aligned so the adhesive parts doesn't touch the inside of the laminator. And the reason why I'm doing it this way and cutting off everything beforehand is just so I have less trimming to do at the end. So let's feed this through. Okay, let's flip it. Let's move this away. So it should give you something like this. We can round the corners. So here you have it. Let's test it out. Here you go. So this is your double-sided matte cash envelope. So as you can see, it goes through the laminator, it just leaves a small air pocket right there, but it's just perfect for what we need. So you can see this divider part. The divider part here, if you have like a lot of laminating sheets that you don't need, I would use them for the middle part so you don't waste your matte finish. So that's what I did for my other envelopes, just because I had a lot of I think it was 3mm laminating sheet that came with a laminator from Amazon that I had, and I don't really like to use this on my actual products, so I use them to separate my envelopes. Okay, so something to know about these envelopes is that the center part is not always going to stick to the edges, so sometimes it's going to move a bit up and down, but I don't mind it. It's just I like the look of these, so I just like to have my money separated like this, And like I said, if you prefer, you could just use a regular A6 envelope. This is just what works for me. And I don't sell these because I wouldn't want anybody complaining about the fact that this slides up and down. This is just meant to, you know, be more aesthetically pleasing and just having like a slimmer envelope. So I'll show you what it looks like in an A5. So this is an A5 envelope, and you can just add your little insert like this. Okay, so that's all for my double-sided matte envelope. All right, so let's move on to my last type of envelopes I want to show you how to make today. So these are the newest ones that I've made for my channel, and I'll show you what it looks like in my binder. I think these look pretty great. I've shown it in one of my videos. This is like the first version that I've made, and today I'm gonna make some more with you. All right, so let's move on to these type of envelopes. So for this, you'll need some paper, so some craft paper. I'm using Craft Consortium, the Ink Drops Candy 8x8 premium paper pad, and I'll put the link in the description box. These are from the UK, and I bought them directly from them, so it cost me a little extra money, but I think they sell these in Canada and in the US, I'm not sure, but in Canada for sure. I just love this collection, and it wasn't in store when I wanted to buy it, so I just purchased directly from them. So I'll put the link in the description so you can know where to find them. So this is what it looks like, and they're double-sided, so it's very, very, very nice. That's why on one side you'll have one pattern, and then on the back it's like a different color. So that's what I use. So we'll try this one. Look at this one. How pretty is this one? We'll take this one, and that's the back of it. So you'll need one of these. You'll need a 5mm glossy finish laminating pouch, and you'll also need a 3mm laminating pouch. Okay, so let's measure everything. So I'll put this on the side, 3mm, 5mm, my beautiful paper, and we'll start measuring. So for the cardstock, it's 17 centimeters. By about 9.5 centimeters. And that's the inner pouch. The outer parts measures 18 centimeters by about 11 centimeters. Actually, if we want to be more precise, yeah, it's about 11 centimeters, just because we're going to be too close on the edge if I do it 10.5. And these have little holes in them, but that's a detail we'll see at the end. Okay, so let's measure our cardstock. Okay, so let's cut our cardstock. So we said 17 centimeters, so that's the long part. So this is going to be one cash envelope, and the height is 9.5 centimeters. So 9.5, I think it's still about the edge. Oh, wait a minute. It's still here. The last little line here. $9.5. You can put this aside. Now let's take our 3mm glossy sheets and cut the same measurements. So we have about 17 by 9.5. As usual, I'm trying to get as many as possible from one laminating pouch to try to maximize the number of cash envelopes we can make. So the 3 ml pouch is divided into 3 rectangles. We'll put this to the side. And now let's create the outer pouch. So the outer parts is what we're creating now. So we're gonna cut off our 5 ml laminating pouch. And this should measure 18 centimeters by 11. 18 by 11 centimeters tall. Let's see if we can fit another one in here. 11, do we have it? Yes, we have another one. Wonderful. So we have 2. Let's see how, oh, we might have 3. Wait a minute. So 18 by 11. We have it, but like barely. So I'm not gonna cut off this part. Did I make a mistake? 18. No, this is good. By 11. So we barely have it. And I think that's why I made the measurements this way, so I could have 3 rectangles that are 5 ml. Okay, so we're gonna start assembling now. I'm just gonna cut off another extra cardstock paper so I can make 3 envelopes and just show you. Look at this blue. Let's do this one too. I'm gonna fast forward this part so I don't confuse you, okay? Okay, so let's start assembling. So we have the cardstock, we have the 3 ml laminating pouch, and you just need actually one part of it. The other part we're gonna set aside. And this we're gonna put matte side up on top of the cardstock. They should be the same size. Okay, and the last thing you'll need is your 5 ml, which is your whole pouch, whole envelope. These 2 are aligned as best as possible. Now we're going to open up our 5 ml pouch and we're going to try to align as best as we can the top of the envelope. As best as possible. Like this. And I'm just gonna, this is not completely straight. Let me just try to tap it gently so everything is aligned. And the reason why I'm giving you these dimensions is just because you have less work to do at the end and you just put this in the laminator. So let's bring your laminator in. Just seeing a tiny imperfection here. So you do your best, okay? Let's put this in and pray for the best. Okay, take it out, let it cool. It's really hot, so just don't try to touch it right now. Okay, so it should give you something like this. And here is your pocket. So here's your cash, oops, sorry. So here's your envelope like this. Let's just make it better and punch some holes in there. So let's round the corners. I'm trying to remember if I used a medium or a large corner rounder. So now we've rounded the edges. Okay, so my hole puncher is a bit finicky, so I'm going to try to explain to you as best as I can what I've done for the settings of this. If you guys have anything to recommend for a hole puncher, just let me know, okay? So this is Wrap Esco, and for the settings, I just put these things move, whoops, like this, so you can have different spaces in between your 6 holes. So I put it aligned to the A5 personal one, so it looks something like this. This little thing you should bring out about 1.5 centimeters, so you get like the correct, like as centered as possible, the holes as centered as possible. So I'm just gonna measure it for you on camera so you can see. It's about 1.5 centimeters, like this, that you bring this little thingy out. And what this is that when you put your cash envelope, let's do it together. I'm gonna put my cash envelope in. And so what you want is equal measurements from this outer hole to this one as well. So let's measure it. If it's for yourself, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's about 2.5, and this is about almost 2.5. So I think it looks pretty good. Nobody's gonna, you know, look at a few millimeters. I think this is pretty good. So let me finish the other envelopes and I'll get back to you, okay? Okay, so these are the 3 envelopes that I made today. I'm gonna show you how I personalize them. So I had pre-cut some vinyl with my Cricuts, and here I'm using a textured gold. I can put the link in the description. And what's particular with these, if you're using a textured gold, and what I've learned really later on in my cash stuffing and just a crafter career, is that if you have textured vinyl, you need a transfer paper that is a little stronger. So transfer paper usually looks like this. You can reuse these. I have a roll that I bought on Amazon and I'll link it in the video description, but I've had it for almost, I think, 2 years. And I've just, you know, keep on using the same transfer paper as much as I can. And it just works, so you don't need that much. But for what I was saying is that for textured vinyl, you need the strong grip transfer paper. And what I do is, I'm gonna show you with something that I have that is pre-used, and I know it looks kind of gross, but it still works, so I'm still gonna use it. That's the whole purpose. I'm gonna show you, okay? So I'm gonna transfer my vinyl, so I'm just gonna put my strong grip vinyl here. Gonna press it down. And I chose July, because it's a colorful month, like it reminds me of summer, so that's what I chose for this envelope. And you see it's still working pretty well, so I'm not gonna toss this away if it still works. Okay, so let's just try to center as best as we can. We kind of eyeball it. I don't have a better way to do this. And I just center it here. And gently peel it off, because these eyes tend to peel. And that's what my envelope looks like. I think I could have centered it a bit better, but you know, it is what it is. So let's personalize the 2 other envelopes. Just make sure you're at the front, like of the envelope. Let's see what I have cut off. I have summer months, so I'm just gonna do June, Juin, What I'm thinking is, if you don't have a Cricut, I think you could just order some vinyl on Etsy and just have it delivered over to your house, so you don't need to have all the tools. So this I'm aligning as best as I can over here. Okay. And this one feels like December. Do I have December? I do. There's a little imperfection here, but I don't mind. It's just for the purpose of the video. Press it down. Try to align it as best as you can. You sort of eyeball it. Oh, and I wanted to say, for the strong grip transfer paper that I'm using, when it's a little used like this, when it has a little bit of fuzzy stuff on it, I find it's when it works best. Because it's such a strong grip, at the very beginning when we start using it, it's kind of too strong, so it tries to peel the vinyl off. So if you get a new piece of this, just put it on your clothes or something and like rip it off like 3 to 4 times, so it gets to this. And this I'm going to keep and use for my other envelopes. So let's put this to the side. Okay, so let's put these cash envelopes into my old savings binder. So what do you guys think? I think they look great. They add a lot of color, and the binders, if you want to try these, I would really recommend it. I love making these envelopes and I love the way they turned out. I can't wait to make other ones with different editions. I think I've found something that works for me, so I'm gonna keep on purchasing the Crafts Consortium cardstock papers and making these beautiful envelopes. And I just want to show you what it looks like with money in them. And I'll just put side by side my other binder so you can see what the darker version looks like. So it looks something like this. Gonna move this off of this. I think like the brighter colors with the beige binder look great. Look at these. That's what it looks like with the savings challenge in them. I skipped a month here, but it's just to show you side by side what it looks like. I think these look great. I've said that a million times in this video, but I just think they do. All right, everyone, that's almost it for today's video. This is my 1,000 subscriber giveaway in disguise. So what I will be giving away is my savings challenge binder that I no longer use, along with 12 envelopes, so for each month, so from January till December, with the French writing. And to enter this giveaway, you need to like this video, make sure you're subscribed, and also leave one calendar emoji along with your financial goal for 2025. I will pick a random comment, and actually it's a comment randomizer that will pick it for me. So just make sure you leave one emoji, because if you put like 3 in a row or 5 in a row, sometimes it has trouble like picking it up. So do yourself a favor and just add one emoji. You just need to comment once And yeah, it's an international giveaway, so please feel free to comment. During my last giveaway, I had somebody from Ireland that won, that was on my Instagram giveaway, and somebody from Canada that won. So if Mary and Maria, you're there, hi, thank you for being loyal subscribers. I love you guys so much. So that's for the YouTube giveaway. If you're not yet following me on Instagram, I'll link my name down here on the screen. You can follow me on Instagram at unpetitbudget_. And on my Instagram giveaway, I'll be giving away some personalized double-sided envelopes. I haven't decided the amount yet. I still have to formulate the post and how I want to put it. So make sure to head to my Instagram page and follow the instruction of my latest post to see how you can enter the giveaway. All right, everyone, that's really it for today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please leave a like if you liked the video and you found it helpful. Feel free to just leave me some comments if you think I should improve on something, if something wasn't clear. You can always message me on my Instagram profile, and I try to message as soon as possible. Also, please consider subscribing if you like this type of content. I have no more voice. I've been speaking for maybe like an hour and a half straight. So thank you again for being here. I love you guys. À bientôt. Bye.